بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أحييكم إخواني وأخواتي في الإسلام بتحية الأنبياء والمرسلين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ومرحبا بكم إلى درسنا السادس عشر لدروس في اللغة العربية. في درسنا الماضي تكلمنا عن الفعل وعن تصريف الفعل الثلاثي المجرد للماضي، واليوم إن شاء الله سوف نستمر في النظر إلى تصريف الفعل، وسننظر إن شاء الله إلى بعض الأمثلة الواردة في جزء عامة إلى بعض السور القصار إن شاء الله تعالى، ثم سنأخذ بعض الأمثلة منكم إن شاء الله، ثم سنرجع إلى الضمائر وننظر إلى الضمائر إن شاء الله، وسوف نرى أن الضمائر هي إما منفصلة أو متصلة إن شاء الله تعالى. So, welcome, أهلا وسهلا, مرحبا بكم إلى درسنا. Welcome each and every one of you as we continue with our program in learning to speak Arabic. And in our previous class, we were looked briefly at the conjugation of the triliteral verbs in the perfect tense. We only looked at a part of that conjugation. Today, inshallah, we will be revising what we have done so far, and inshallah we will also be looking at some examples from the Quran, in particular from the last juz or the last part of the Quran, and you will also be giving me some sentences on your own with the conjugation of the verb, or may ask you some questions and you inshallah will answer accordingly. Then we will return to the pronouns. We looked at pronouns in some aspect, and we said that pronouns could either be separate or connected. Maybe I didn't say it, but tonight inshallah we will mention and we would look closer at the pronouns, and we would realize that pronouns are written separately by themselves. They stand by themselves, and other times they are attached to words. All right, so we would look at that also tonight inshallah in our class. All right, and we perhaps would make some comments on some of the homework that you have done and some of the questions that some of the students have asked. All right, so let's go back to the verb. So I would like for you to help me. All right, you could remember a chart looking like this, and we had here al-mufrad. So if we could start getting accustomed to the Arabic rather than the English, that is what we are striving for, right? We're striving to learn Arabic and to speak Arabic and to write Arabic. All right? So the less English we see, it is better for us. All right? So al-mufrad meaning singular, and the dual is what? Al-muthanna. All right? And the plural? Al-jam'. Okay? Al-jam'. Al-jam'. And gradually we will also be eliminating vowels, because you have to learn to read Arabic without vowels. Arabic is normally not written with vowels, okay? Arabic is not written with vowels. You pick up any Arabic book, there are no vowels, just the words there. And you have to be able to read the words and read them correctly. And inshallah, you will be getting there. All right? Gradually, you're learning. You learn some words. So we are looking at the conjugation of this verb now. It's a new verb. What word it is? Jalasa means he sat. He. All right? Always remember when you're being introduced to a verb, the pronoun he is understood that it is within the verb. All right? It is an implicit pronoun. And in Arabic, it is called damirun mustatir. Damirun mustatir. So you cannot actually see huwa in the verb, but it is within the verb. All right? So jalasa actually means he sat. All right? So jalasa will be mentioned right here. All right? So it is huwa basically. And we have for hiya, all right, which will be? Huh? Jala. All right, so you put in the extra letter with red to highlight what letter was added to the verb. So anytime you're conjugating a verb and you want to say, she did something, you just take the verb as it is, and all you simply do is to add on the ta with a sukoon. So now it would mean she did whatever the verb means. So jalasat. Jalasa is huwa, and jalasat is hiya. There is no need to say hiya jalasat. If you just say jalasat, it is understood it is hiya. So mentioning hiya becomes redundant. All right? Okay? Likewise, huwa, you don't need to say huwa jalasa, you just say jalasa. Okay? Jalas. Jalasa, jalas. And then we mentioned about, which is you, anta, and we have anti. All right? So again, we don't need to say all of these. So we write the three main letters of the verb. All right? And what we said for the second person, this is the third person. In Arabic, it is called what? Al-ghaib. Al-ghaib means the absent. And you perhaps should remember the word ghaib. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. And it is هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. So, ghaib, the unseen. Ghaib is the one who is absent. That is the third person in English grammar. It is called, referred to as the third person. All right, so al-ghaib. So it's called damir al-ghaib. All right, you're talking about him or her. And the one you're speaking to is called what? You remember? Al-mukhatab. Al-mukhatab. If you only change this vowel, Shakir, to a kesra and becomes mukhatib, it will change the meaning of the word. You are mukhatab. Okay? I am the mukhatib. I am addressing you. I am the addresser. You are the addressed. That vowel, that is so important that it has a fatha. All right? Now, so the same letter that forms anta, which is the last ta with the fatha, it is the same here. So it's a fatha here. And you must remember that the final letter of the verb, which is the sin, the vowel changes to a sukoon. And that goes for all of them, right? The remaining. It's only for the al-ghaib, it remains intact. Okay? But for these others, okay, like we have so we have the ta with a kesra here, that goes here. And then we have a ta with a dhamma, which is basically ana. And ana means I. All right? Okay? So this is the speaker, and it is called al mutakallim. Al mutakallim. Okay? So, as I have mentioned before, as long as the verb looks like this, there is no need to mention any of these. Okay? Because it is already understood. You can't say jalasat, you can't say huwa jalasat. That will be wrong, totally wrong. Likewise, you can't say hiya jalasa. No, it is huwa. All right? Likewise with all of these. You can't say ana, I, jalasta. That will be wrong. It is anta, you. Okay? So it is already understood. These pronouns they are already here inside the verb, and there is no need to write them. Okay? I wrote them here so that you could remember what it is, but now we take them away. Okay? So, mudhakkar means masculine. Mu'annath. All right? This is mudhakkar. Mudhakkar means masculine. Mudhakkar. And this is mu'annath. All right? This is mudhakkar. We can't abbreviate because both of them begin with mim. Mudhakkar and mu'annath. So I have the vowels here. I don't have the vowels here. I'm training you one time. All right? And this one for both of them. Mudhakkar and mu'annath. Both for the speaker. Jalastu. All right? So read them quickly for me. Jalasa. All right? And we have also learned how to negate the verb by placing what word? Ma. You have also learned previously that ma can be used as an interrogative particle to use to ask question. All right? And when it comes before the verb, it negates the verb, basically. Sometimes it could be mentioned before the verb, but not necessarily negating the verb. It could be a relative pronoun. All right? A relative pronoun is like that or which or who. All right? Those are relative pronouns. Like it's called a relative pronoun because it is related to a noun that was mentioned before. Hence the reason it is called a relative pronoun. All right? Yeah. So, but basically, you have ma mentioned before the verb. It negates the verb. So if I want to say now, I sat here yesterday. How are you going to say that? I sat here. What's the Arabic word for here? Hona. Yesterday. Ams. So how do you say the whole thing? I sat here yesterday. Jalastu huna. Ams. Jalastu huna ams. No, you didn't sit here yesterday. La. Ma jalasta huna ams. You sat there. You sat there. Jalasta هناك. هناك. K. هناك. All right? Where did you sit yesterday? Give me the Arabic. أين جلس أمس. All right? So you know how to ask the question, right? And you know how to negate the verb. All right? We said that we are not doing this as yet. All right? We're taking a break from that for a while. All right? I want this to sink in good. So you need to practice as much as you can. All right? Practice as much as you can with the conjugation with different verbs. So far you have the verbs ذهب, which means, and kharaja, he left or he went out. He left or he went out. And you have jalasa. Jalasa means he sat. All right. Dakhala. Dakhala. He entered. Write the word dakhala quickly before I write it on the board. And then I'll write it to see if you have gotten it correctly. And those of you who are viewing also do the same thing. Write it down. Dakhala. Dakhala. All right? You're supposed to finish by now. So it's dakhala. Dakhala means he entered, to enter. Right? So it means he entered. So we could just say dakhala means to enter, but it actually means he entered. All right? So conjugate dakhala quickly for me. Look on this chart and just conjugate for me quickly. Go here. Dakhala, dakhalat, dakhalta, dakhalti, dakhaltu. All right, negate the verb now. I did not enter. He did not enter. Ma dakhala. She didn't enter. Ma dakhalat. Ma dakhalta. Dakhala. All right, write another verb. Waqafa. 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 All right. I hope some of you didn't join the wow. Waqafa means he stood or he stopped. He stood or he stopped. He stood up or he stopped. All right, conjugate from here. Waqafa, starting from here. Waqaftu. Waqafti. Waqafat. All right, negate the verb now. Ma waqafat. All right, so you have another verb. Waqafa. Okay? All right. Let's look at some, leave it here, some examples from the Quran, from the last part of the Quran, the last juz. Maybe you have come across some of them. It could be anyone, whether it is the third person, singular, masculine, or the feminine, or this one, or this one, or this one. All right? Any one of you could give an example from any of the short surahs of the Quran, short chapters of the Quran. So remember that chart, what we looked at in the previous class. We talked about, well, briefly mentioned that they are, all right? So we have, this is a verb here. The verb is an'ama. An'ama means to bestow favor, to grant favor or blessings. All right? So we have here, an'ama is the verb. And it is the same concept. All right? To add the appropriate pronoun to the verb. So we have an'amta. All right? An'amta. So what an'amta means? You have bestowed favor. All right? So we already know sirat means path. Alladhina. Alladhina. Those, we didn't mention that word in the last class, in one of the previous classes. Alladhi and alladhina. I did or I didn't? I can't remember. Alladhi, it means who, or it could mean that. Huh? And then you have alladhina is the plural. So alladhina means like who, or it could be those, right? The plural of that, which will be those. Okay? So the path of those you have bestowed favors. And what is this? This is ala. Remember ala plus whom. All right, whom. This equals to that. Right? The alif maqsura changed to a ya when it came in contact with the pronoun. Right? And then the dhamma was changed to a kasra. Right? So you have alayhim. You have learned all of those rules before. So the point that the actual what I wanted to point out from this whole ayah was the conjugation of the verb. All right, you have it an'amta. All right, before it is a sukun. All right, so an'ama is a verb. All right, so maybe you could look at only 3-letter verbs. All right, but I thought about mentioning this one because it is a surah we read every single day, right? At least 17 times. So we have to know all of the words in the surah and be able to, look a little bit deeper and closer to the words. Hence the reason I mentioned. Can you give an example of a verb mentioned in the last part of the Quran? 3 letters only, or maybe with a sukoon at the end of it, or any one of these. Any one of those categories. Okay, look at you. I will have to ask you all to walk with your Quran for the coming classes, all right? Suratul Falaq. The second ayah says what? So I have min. Right? So khalaqa means he created. Khalaqa means he created. What's the meaning of min? Min, from. Shar means evil. Ma, what? So ma is not negating the verb. So this is a good example, right, where you could see ma coming before the verb, all right, but it doesn't negate the verb, all right? How would you know if ma comes before the verb, all right, whether it is negating the verb or it is like a relative pronoun? How are you going to differentiate between the two? Well, the meaning will tell you. The meaning itself, right? If it is a negative particle from the evil that you didn't create, you have not created. Right? It's not that. Okay? So, this is a relative pronoun. The meaning helps you. In the same surah, you have another verb. You have other verbs. But you could skip the other ayah. Min sharri ghasiqin idha waqab. All right? Waqaba is a verb also. But it is a word that is hardly used. It is only mentioned one time in the Quran. And ghasiqin also mentioned only one time in the Quran in that same surah. All right? Ghassaq is mentioned about 2 or 3 times in the Quran, right? In Surah An-Naba and the next part of the Quran. So it's not a word that's used a lot. All right, so we could just go to the next. Let's look at the last ayah of the surah. All right? So we have وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. Hasada means to envy. To envy. All right? So that's the verb right there. And while we have this here, perhaps we could look at something also that is an extra while we are still looking at the verb. You could probably remember the word jalisun and waqifun. Can you remember those words in one of the previous lessons? Jalisun, what jalisun means? Sitting. And waqifun, standing. All right? But now, tonight, you're going to learn something a little bit more than that standing and sitting. All right? It doesn't really mean exactly that. All right? So let's look at jalis. Jalisun. All right? From the verb jalasa. Jalisun is a noun that was formed from the verb by the addition of an extra alif after the first letter. All right? And it became a noun. From the verb, a noun was formed by adding an extra alif. This is called, in English grammar, active participle. You know what is the active participle? It is a noun that is formed from the verb by the addition of a suffix er or or, right? add that to the verb, and you get a noun. So, for example, the verb teach, that's a verb. If I add er, the suffix er, I get a noun, teacher, right? So the teacher is what is called the active participle, all right? It is the noun that was formed by the addition of the suffix er or or, like instruct, instructor, manage, manager, all right? So jalasa means he sat. Jalisun, what it means? What, based on what you have just heard? A sitter. Now, if I call somebody a sitter, and if I say, this person is a sitter and this one is sitting, which one is more emphatic in the sitting? Which one is emphasizing the sitting more? This person is a sitter or the one who is sitting? Huh? A sitter, right? He is known to be a person who always likes to sit down. He's lazy, only like to sit. He's a sitter, all right? So that is the difference now when you learn the active participle. It means that quality is actively found in the person wherever the person is. All right? The word Muslim is the active participle of aslama, the verb which means to submit and to surrender. So it means that we are actively, that submission and surrender is with us wherever we are. Wherever we are, I'm a Muslim. In the masjid, on the street, conducting a business, doing something, playing football, I'm still Muslim. All right? The quality doesn't leave. All right? So, it is interpreted now, when it is used in a sentence, Muhammadun jalisun. All right? It's interpreted to mean he is sitting. But it could be expressed if you want to say Muhammad is sitting, Muhammad yajlis, or yajlisu Muhammad, by using the actual verb. All right, but when you use the active participle, it emphasizes the quality more. All right, so you can take any verb that you know and do the same thing. Add an extra alif after the first letter, you get the active participle. So from dakhala you get what? Dakhilun. Waqafa. Waqifun. All right? Kharaja. Dhahaba. Dhahibun is mentioned in the Quran. Inni dhahibun ila rabbi. Inni dhahibun ila rabbi sayahdin. All right? I'm going to my Lord. He will guide me. All right? So, when you read the Quran next time and you come across the active participle, then you have to now look at the ayah in a different way, in that light. Why? This thing is being emphasized more. Look at Surah Al-Kafirun. All right? Surah Al-Kafirun. You have the verb. La a'abudu, that is verb. Wala ana abid. Abidun. So, now you will understand the ayah or the ayat differently if you could understand that meaning. The time does not permit for us to go into all of those details. All right. Question. There was a question on... I think we could take this away now. You see, when you do homework, questions could come. All right, questions could arise. And when these questions come, it becomes beneficial for everyone. If you have a sentence Bab. This was a question that was asked by one of the students right here in the class right now. Bab al-Masjid al-Qadim. All right, al-Qadim. Maksurun. All right. Question is, correct? Al-Qadim is an adjective. But what is it describing? Is it describing this or this? Is it the old door of the masjid is broken? Or is it the door of the old masjid is broken? The old door. How would you know? You're guessing. Can't guess. Cannot guess. This is like maths. Arabic is like maths. You have to get the correct answer. Okay? Always remember that. Arabic grammar is like maths. So you have Bab Bul Masjidi. If I put a kasra here, then you will say what? It is an adjective of this. If I put it like that, adjective of this. Good? So you have to look at the vowel. All right? The voweling will help you. If we had a feminine noun here, all right, and the adjective will be feminine. You have, let me say you had a masculine noun and a feminine noun, but the adjective is masculine or feminine, you will know quickly. But if both of them are the same gender, the voweling will have to help you. All right? So even though Arabic is written without vowels, all right, and to avoid that confusion, the writer, whoever is writing, will put the appropriate vowel for this particular word to avoid that ambiguity or confusion. All right? So you all understand? Hal fahimtum? All right, that was one of the questions. All right, students of Arabic, if you want to ask the question, do you have هل عندك or in the key, depending who you're speaking to. Do you have a pen? A pen. Put column here, right? هل عندك قلم? هل عندك قلم? Do you have a pen? هل عندك سيارة? Do you have a car? Do you have a house? هل عندك بيت? Do you have a father? Huh? Do you have a wife? Supposing now, what is the word for wife? Huh? Zawjatun, right? Zawjatun means a wife. What's the meaning of the word zawj? Huh? What's the meaning of the word zawj? If zawja means wife, what this one means? Husband. This one means spouse. Spouse. So it could be husband or wife. The word zawj could mean husband or wife. And it will be easy to know whether it is husband or wife, depending who you're talking to. All right? Depending who you're talking to. So you're talking to a male. I know nowadays it kind of changed. Things changing up now. Yeah. We're going back to the normal correcting. We know about all these other things. Right? But zawj means spouse. All right? If I had a kesra here, who am I speaking to? All right? And I have the word zawj. Let me complete it. Let me complete this sentence, right? Sorry, I have a mistake here. You want to say hal, all right? How hal zawj? Hal zawjuki. Who am I speaking to? A male or a female? Female. So hal zawjuki fil bayt mean what? Is your husband at home? All right? And if I had hal zawjuka fil bayt would mean what? If it's your wife at home. All right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ya Adam, uskun anta wa zawjuka. Wa zawjuka al-jannah. All right? So say you and your wife. وَكُلَا مِنْهَا رَغَدًا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا. Okay, so that's for that. We have some words for, we still have a few things to do. Add these words to your vocabulary for Quranic vocabulary. Hawla, which means around. We have the word baina already. Baina means between. But if it is used like baina, Yadaik, it could mean in front of you. All right? Could be one of the meaning, in front of you. Like baina, when it is used with certain words, like baina aydihim, in front of them. All right? Ya'lamu ma baina aydihim, what is in front of them. But basically, baina means between. All right? You have the book Arabiyyah, baina Yadaik. So it could mean in front of you, Arabic in front of you, or it could also mean Arabic in your hand reach. Arabic in your hand reach. Or Arabic within your hands. All right? All of those are correct translations. All right? So that, and you have also for your additional vocabulary for the Quran, you have already aina. Everybody knows the meaning of aina, right? But this one now is aynama. Aynama. Wherever. So aina doesn't mean wherever, just aynama. Aina means where, but aynama means wherever. Okay? Aina means where, but aynama means wherever. أينما تكونوا يدرككم الموت. Wherever you are, death will come to you. ولو كنتم في بروج مشيدة. Even though you are in high-built towers. All right, those are some of the words for your vocabulary, Quranic vocabulary. All right, I want you, for your homework, we're still not finished. We have a lot of time, and I want to talk about pronouns. But just in case I forget, I would like for you to find some more triliteral verbs, three-letter verbs, in the perfect tense from the last part of the Quran. There are many of them. All right? So find about 5, at least 5 of them. All right? Find at least 5 triliteral verbs from the last part of the Quran. All right. Now we're looking at pronouns again. I'm studying. We didn't read anything for the past 2 classes. Let's read something. We'll look at the pronouns in the next class, inshallah. All right? من ذلك الرجل من ذلك الرجل الطويل. Could you translate that for me? من ذلك الرجل الطويل. Who is that tall man? الذي خرج. Who left الآن, now or just now, من المدرسة, from the school. هو المدير الجديد. He is the new principal, or it could be the new director. Okay, I'm going to read the whole thing now, see if what you can make from him. من الولد الصغير الذي خرج الآن من الفصل. Again. من الولد الصغير الذي خرج الآن من الفصل. Who is the small boy who left from the class? He is the principal's son. Give me the Arabic. Huwa ibnul mudir. Right? Huwa and ibn. The waw joins straight to the ba. Huwa ibnul mudir. The alif is alif maqsura. It's hamzatul wasl, sorry. All right? So it's an alif that is not pronounced. Okay? It's just like when you say masmuk. The alif is not pronounced. All right? If it is preceded by another word. So, huwa ibnul mudir, meaning he is the principal's son. Give me the Arabic. Whose beautiful car is that? Whose will be for whom? Whose is for whom? So, that beautiful car. That car and then beautiful. Give me the whole thing. Liman tilka sayyaratul jamila. Liman tilka sayyaratul jamila. It belongs to the new principal. It belongs to the new principal. It belongs to the principal, the new. The adjective always come after. Hiya lil mudir. All right. Hiya lil mudiril jadi. What vowel for jadi? The last vowel. D. Hiya lil mudiril jadidi. But normally we do not pronounce it. Just say hiya lil mudiril jadid. Okay. Whose big book is this? Whose, whenever I say whose, it means for whom. Liman. This big book. This big book. Is it for the teacher? Is it for the teacher? هل هو for the teacher? Does it belong to the teacher? Same thing. All right. No, it is for the small student. هو للطالب للطالب الصغير صغيري. For the female, the small female student. للطالبة الصغيرة. Nice, very good. أحسنتم. Where is the small spoon? أين الملعقة الصغيرة? It is in the cup. هي في الكوب. كوب. كاف واو با. كوب, which is cup. Where is the broken chair? Where is the broken chair? All right, song it like a question, like if you're really asking a question. أين الكرسي المكسور? أين الكرسي? It is there. It is there. هو. There. هو هناك. هو هناك. Okay. The new doctor is in the hospital. Male doctor. The new doctor, male doctor, is in the hospital. The new. الطبيب الجديد في المستشفى. And the old doctor is in the clinic. المستوصف. مستوصف. All right? Meaning clinic. Clinic. The broken pen is on the desk. The broken pen is on the desk. Huh? القلم المكسور على المكتب. Okay, the new fan is in the big room. The new fan is in the big room. What is the word for fan? Huh? Mir wa. How am I saying? The new fan. المروحة الجديدة is in the big room. جديدة or كبيرة. كبيرة. All right. The Arabic language is easy. اللغة العربية سهلة. The tall boy who went out of the class just now is a student from Kuwait. The tall boy, الولد الطويل, all right, who went out of the class, الذي خرج from the class, من الفصل, all right, طالب, الآن just now, student from Kuwait. Huh? من الكويت. من الكويت. I am in the secondary school. أنا في المدرسة الثانوية. The poor man went to the minister. ذهب إلى الوزير. الرجل الفقير ذهب إلى الوزير. The new student sat behind Hamid. الطالب الجديد جلس خلف حامد. Or you could say جلس الطالب الجديد خلف حامد. All right, we have said that before, that you could use a verbal noun or a nominal, a verbal sentence or a nominal sentence, right? We will look at that again in the next class. All right? And the last one is, the big knife is very sharp. Huh? Is very sharp. It have a shadda here. Haddun. Haddun. When you're writing, all right? This is had means what? Sharp. When you're writing, make sure you have the proper rules of writing. What is this one? This one is hot. This is harun, raw. And this is dal. Okay? Don't mix up two. And when you're writing also, you want to say something, make sure you write the correct letter. All right? Observe the rule in writing. All right? We have to do some writing. See? Watch carefully. All right? Imaginary lines. So you have to know what goes below the line and what goes above the line. All right? The remaining of the time, numbers and days of the week. All right, let's go with numbers. Start counting from واحد to إلى 20. عدوا means count. عدوا من واحد إلى 20. يلا بسم الله. واحد. نعم ما شاء الله, very good. That was fast. All right. الآن نعد. الآن now نعد, we will count بالخمسات, in fives. خمسة عشرة, خمسة عشر, 20, 30. Faster, faster. All right, count by tens. بالعشرات الآن. عدوا بالعشرات. مئة. All right, مئة. All right. أيام الأسبوع. أيام الأسبوع, the days of the week. الأحد, الاثنين, الثلاثاء, الأربعاء, الخميس. Right? And they have the Arabs don't normally, sometimes they break it up, you know, they have different names. Right? There's like for thulatha, they just say thuluth or tulut, rubu, like Arabiyyah, rubu they just say. But they just corrupt in the spoken and just fast, you know. All right, so for your homework, you find some more verbs and complete the reading from Dr. Abdur Raheem's book, pages 67 and 68. How do we say 67 again? How do we say page? Safha. So, Safha, iqra'u, all of you read iqra'u, Safha 67 و 68 للواجبات المنزلية for homework. وكذلك 69 و70 و71. نعم إلى 71 إلى 71 until واحد or 2 71. اقرأوا من الصفحات 67 إلى 71. هل فهمتم؟ نعم. وهذا آخر ما عندنا اليوم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. You all have to hold on for a minute for a picture.